awareness.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, so hopefully that will get pushed out to the SID folks that are doing most of these.
Any other questions?
Any addresses again? Okay. Please feel free to email.
Yes.
Regarding the homicides that happened in Trinidad the last couple of weeks in June, do you have any additional information you can share aside from, I know you solved one case, the 1200 block of Holbrook. How about the other two cases?
I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you. I know that the one that you talked about, they got, a lot of media attention. That one was, and the rest was made in that one. I'll have to go and I'll talk to the commander, I'll talk to, reach out to them and see where they are with, because those investigations are handled by the homicide, which is not housed here, so I can't go down the hallway and talk to the detectives or the battalion detectives. But I'll try to get some more information if I can about those other ones.
Because the first one, the drive-by shooting literally happened in front of my building.
What's the
It was
block?
the 1300 block of one. And so, and the other three happened within a 7-block radius of where the apartment building. So the neighbors and I just been a little bit,
I know, Lieutenant Gray is your PSA lieutenant, right? Is Derek Gray, your PSA lieutenant? Yes. And so we're working with Lieutenant Gray, and some of the resources that I talked about have been put up in Trinidad in 506 of that PSA. So, and he's very responsive as well, and I know Derek very well. He's a great lieutenant, great person. He's on leave right now, but I'll reach out to him. I'll give him a call and find out if he has any more information than what I have. But please feel free to contact him because he is extraordinarily responsive, and this really is an asset to the district. So, I'm sure I know he'll get back to you as well.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the officer at the plaza. I actually saw him sitting at the plaza, but he didn't really do anything to kind of disperse the crowd. I guess what specifically can be done to kind of expedite that process.
Well, I mean, it is kind of I understand, we just can't just tell people to leave. I mean, there has to be some, and it is kind of a balance in that. And people going to the plaza, those people who are there drinking or using the drugs or whatever. What time of day frame, so I have a kind of idea?
I think it was, to me, as I was leaving work, so it was about 9-ish in the morning.
9 in the morning?
I think so. But
Okay.
Either way, the officer was sitting there.
Okay.
He had a specific time to be there, so it was within that time frame.
Yeah, if I could kind of get a time frame, then I know which shift to
It was
sort of
early
focus on.
morning.
Okay.
Well,
And again,
Sam Ford from Channel 7 was looking for people that may be under the influence of synthetic marijuana. And of course, the word in the neighborhood was that you can go right to the Starburst, and I believe he was able to capture a number of people zoned out, and we have individuals, and it's really interesting because they really do walk around like zombies. Their movements are not coordinated, their eyes are bloodshot, a lot of times they're filthy, their movements are jerky. It's really, really disturbing. And under those circumstances, if someone is clearly under the influence, can't you arrest them? No, you cannot.
just being a zombie, you call the board and have the board come look at them and make a medical issue.
What if they actually passed out on public space? How do we address
board
that?
issue as well. And the ambulance would come, we would call for an ambulance.
But that's not a police matter.
Because we can't say they committed a crime by just a virtue of being passed out. But we have to call the ambulance.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Lieutenant, about a week ago I was at Starburst and saw a man bringing a rolling cooler from...
Blue and white?
Say again?
Blue and white?
Yes, and so great, so you're familiar with it. Can you talk, and he went into the bus stop and then started either handing out free beers or selling beers from the cooler.
Okay.
I assume you can't just look at people's blue and white coolers without seeing that there's something. I assume you can't just open it. Can you talk about about what we can do to help when we see that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, I was call 911 first, because then we can come and if we have when you give the lookout, you give the description, you give the location and what's happening, we have more ability to make the contact or make the stop and talk to the gentleman and see what's going on. But, you know, we can't just, if we see the blue cooler without any 911 call, I think we'll say, go open up that cooler, because there is some, that's his property. We all know what's happening, but still, we can't just force our way. It's like forcing our way into the home because we think someone's, you know, doing something illegal inside the home. We need the probable cause. Everything we do is predicated on having probable cause. So the first step is call 911. I have seen the rolling cooler. And one night, actually, I kicked myself for not taking it, but it was in Starbucks Plaza, and I did look at it. It was empty at that point. But you know, that's the other thing. If it's there and no one claims it, we can take it as found property. Because that's the thing. A lot of times they'll say, "Is this your cooler? Is this your cooler?" And they'll say, "No, it's not mine. It's not mine." Well, then it's not public space and it's found property. We would take it back here and put it on our property because that. And if someone has a receipt, you know, for a blue cooler, they can go get the cooler. That's sort of where we are.
Is that something that like the possession, we all know there's a pretty heavy presence there. Is that something that folks who are there, if they see that a cooler's been abandoned for a day or two,
yeah,
what's the process for that? Do we have to put in 3 runs for all those, or is that something that officers are routinely looking at?
Well, again, with this officer, right, we'll be there, and we're not going to specifically let him know that if you see this blue cooler and there's no one there, no one claims it, then take it back to 5 and put it as found property. So yeah, and again, if you see something like that, or somebody sees something like that, please call 911, and then we have a little bit more, at least the start of the probable cause to go and talk to the person who's cool. Yeah.
And how do you address people grilling at the bus stops?
That's not funny,
It's absurd. It's absurd. It's sad. It's absurd.
I have not seen that again. Well, may call 911. We'll call, but we'll also have Metro Transit come because that's Metro Transit. So we will grilling in a bus stop.
How would the officers address that?
Well, again, they would. I'm sure they would. If there's actually the fire in the grill, they would have the person extinguish the flame because you can't have open flame like that in the bus stop.
And would you confiscate it? Is that a arrestable
Again, it's one of those
offense?
things where the old person says it's not my grill. I'm just sitting here at the bus stop, and you can't find someone who lays claim to that. We've done that. We in fact maybe a week or so ago on 19th Street, as a matter of fact. I'm sorry, High Street. We went in there. There was a girl sitting on the sidewalk. A bunch of people around there. We asked, "Is this your grill? Is this your grill?" Everyone says, "No, it's not mine." So we brought it back to 5 feet. It was just left on. You know, as far as we know, it's found property.
Thank you.
So, again, call 911. Even if it's something like that where it's sitting out, we kept Nancy and I were driving around again on High Street, and we saw a sofa sitting on the curb. We called DPW and we had them come and have them remove it, so it's not just sitting there tracking people. So, like, call us.
Thank you, timekeeper.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You mentioned the increase of crime in June, and specifically the Trinidad area, and which hasn't really stopped, and there's been persistent kind of spiking of crime. And there's been a lot of talk about synthetic marijuana. Is there any strong evidence linking the spike in crime to the synthetic marijuana, or is this a process of elimination and the first step of trying to figure out why there is such a spike in crime compared to last year, and the changing being that it's synthetic marijuana? So the question is there evidence actually linking this, or is this just a process of elimination?
Probably a little bit of both. To be honest with you. Our prior central crime analysis, people look at the reports coming out of each of the neighborhoods, and they look to see what crimes are being committed, and then prepare the reports for us. And then we know that the synthetic marijuana has become, in the recent months, it's starting in, I don't know, mid-June maybe, you know, my time frame may be a little bit off. It's sort of exploded on the scene as far as its use is going. We've seen more media reports. So I think it's a matter of putting the two things together, seeing the people that are being, if we arrest someone for the crime, the we're able to make an arrest, to see if they're on any sort of narcotics or experiencing anything because of the synthetic marijuana. I think that there is a lot of connectivity between the two, but solid scientific numbers, I don't have that information tonight. But I think that you can look throughout the city and see the neighborhoods where the synthetic marijuana is prevalent and see where the crime spikes are. And I think you'll see the overlap or the corresponding rise in the use and the increase in crime. So I think it's a little bit of both. I don't have the hard data tonight. I mean, I can look into it. I can ask our crime analysis section to see what they have that shows the spike in the areas where the synthetic marijuana is known to be highly used. In Starbucks Plaza area or downtown by the homeless shelter to see if there was a spike in crime around there because we've had a lot of calls at that.
And just a follow-up question. A lot of this spike there seems like a lot more gun violence. Are there any active measures being taken to take some of these guns off the street, or is this kind of a responsive mechanism that as these cases happen, you're responding? So is there proactive measures being taken to get these crimes down as well?
Yeah, and we're someone from our gun recovery unit or someone from the NSID was here to talk about it. The GRU, I heard them on our air tonight at 5D. They've been out there. We've been doing specific areas. We'll bring in our canine dogs who are trained for article searches, and we'll search blocks where we've had gun violence or we have reports of gunshots to see if we find any guns located in the shrubs, in the high grass, anywhere around. So I think that we're trying to get ahead of that as well. Plus our local CST team, when they make arrests, they do a lot of debriefs of people to see if we can find out locations for where guns may be stashed. So I think it's a multi-pronged effort trying to get the guns and get them off the street.
Lieutenant and Commissioner Lewis, Commander Fitzgerald and Captain Bryant reported last night that you all obtained 14 guns since July 4th.
Then I know in 507, one night alone, we recovered 5 guns off the street. We responded to an area for a sound of gunshots, and there was nothing there. Or we found, I think we might have found some shell casings, but in canvassing the area, then we came across the car, and that led us to a search around the area of the car, and then we located guns in that area as well. So I mean, we are trying to make the dent.
You see that you're working hard. Are there any other questions or concerns? Yes, ma'am, in the back, and then.
Lieutenant Harry, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Is there a distinction, from the regular marijuana that is used versus the
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I can ask our CST guys and ask the guys that work at our vice, or what used to be our vice team, what is it? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's more of a chemical odor to it than the marijuana. It has that very recognizable pungent smell to it. I think that the synthetic stuff is more has a chemical odor to it. But I'll double check with that, and I can get back to you. Give me your name or email or something. I can get hold of you and let you know what they say. Okay, because I don't want to misspeak and tell you it's this. And those guys are more the experts on that.
The reason I'm asking is because but I have my window open. I live in Trinidad.
Okay.
And people as we walk up and down the street just smoking a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So I'm curious as to whether or not whether there's a difference.
Like I said, I'll try to get the answer for you. I don't know the answer to that. I'll try to find out. What is the distinctive smell to the synthetic marijuana versus? I mean, it's listed as potpourri. Is what it's sold as. So, if you can imagine what potpourri smells like, it's probably some chemical odor that has some maybe floral or some other scented odor to it, because it's sold as potpourri. That's what it's packaged as. It's potpourri. So,
What I don't understand is, as I understand it, natural marijuana is legal in the district, why would people choose this other stuff to come in and practice?
I guess because the effect of the synthetic marijuana is more direct and more profound, I guess, for the same amount or less amount than you could get with marijuana. So it's
Well, I've heard because you can't be drug tested.
and that too, yeah.
So if you're on probation,
So,
Okay.
yeah.
when you go down to the
Yeah.
court, you come up clean.
All right.
So I think the combination of those two factors.
Yeah, I think that's the
It's
biggest.
also easier to create. It's easier to create synthetic rather than grown.
Are there any other questions or concerns for Lieutenant Harrington? Thank you, Lieutenant Harrington.
Sure. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
At this time, I'd like to ask Ms., and I see you want to move the agenda around a little bit, Ms. Aida Garu, please come forward. Thank you. And let me apologize to you, Ms. Brewer. You were supposed to be on the agenda, you're not, but that is just
No problem.
a typographical
I'm flexible.
faux pas.
And I'm a Ward 5 citizen in Trinidad, so I'm thankful to be here. I have packets. If you want to take one, then be my guest. I'll pass them out. How do you want? This is in regards to child support. So
Just tell us where you're from.
okay,
Okay.
all right, perfect. But I kind of wanted to. You know,
We're passing
I'm an
on
old
break.
school teacher. I taught in Trinidad, so I lived in Trinidad, and I was also a teacher at Center City Public Schools. So I just kind of want to pass.
Oh, okay.
If we have enough, and then if you don't need it, please just don't take it, and I'll save it and spend the tree somewhere else. Yes. Watch and then pass.
Too old.
Good afternoon. My name is Aida Garu, and I am a community outreach specialist. Sure, Aida, A-I-D-A, Garu, G-A-R-O-U-T. And I am a community outreach specialist for the Office of Attorney General within the Child Support Service Division. And so what my charge is basically a community teacher. I go to different venues, provider meetings, I go to schools, I work with New Heights program, I go to shelters, domestic violence shelters, homeless transitional housing, as well as veterans. And my target audience is, of course, are constituents that are receiving public assistance, as well as homeless veterans and returning citizens. Basically, my charge is to inform the public of the current services and programs and incentives that we have. I'll start within the agenda, just our mission. Our objective is to find and locate non-custodial parents and, establish child support cases based off of mandated initiatives such as TANF. If a custodial parent, and that could be a guardian, that could be a foster home, that could be a foster parent, or CFSA. If the child is under emancipation age, then we will seek child support from the non-custodial parents. It could be both the mother and the father. We have over 5,000 TANF cases in Ward 5. We have well over 6,000 mandated child support cases within Ward 5. And so you're asking yourself, how does that relate to you? Oftentimes, if a person is on or receiving public assistance and needs that low socioeconomic, education, lack of education, and so forth, any barriers of poverty, any issues of poverty. And so we like to educate that process. Child support is very, very complex. We do deal with the judicial system here in the District of Columbia, so each case is special in its own. And so we have come up with numerous programs that assist non-custodial parents, which is considered the absent parent, with Fresh Start programs. Fresh Start program is a program that If you have TANF arrears, if the non-custodial parent has TANF arrears, then they will work with them for 24 months and basically bring those arrears down to zero. So I've seen cases where they could be $50,000, $80,000, and if the non-custodial parent is in compliance for 2 years and pays that child support for 2 years, then their balance is reduced to zero. That is forgiven by the government. Now, if it is a private case, meaning it's non-TANF, meaning that custodial parent came in and paid $5, and it could be a result of a divorce decree. If you choose to seek our services, then you would pay $5, and then we would enforce and monitor the cases. A lot of people don't understand the difference between a non-4D and a 4D case. Non-4D means it's a private, you go to the court, the judge decides, or arbitration between the two involved parties, and then you have an order. But that order is not enforced or monitored. So if you are seeking, or that person is seeking to have that case monitored and enforced, then they would pay the $5 and they would seek our service and we provide our service to them. Also, we have a community Winnebago. I don't know if you've seen it a couple of times. We did it last year at the community birthing center, which was on 17th Street. It was a big yellow bus. It looks like a library bus, but it's actually our mobile, and it's a Winnebago, and we basically go out to the community because oftentimes the barrier and the economic challenge of getting down to our downtown office. So we come into the community, and you will see us out passing out flyers and just educating the public in regards to TANF and child support and establishing fraternity. My primary goal as a charge is always to inform the public, but also about establishing fraternity. We have over 17,000 cases in Ward 5 that have not established fraternity, meaning the father's name is not on the birth certificate. And there are so many, there's so many reasons why custodial parents don't choose to put the father, but it is important for the child. As a teacher for over 10, 12 years, I can always relate with the child when the child is aware or cognizant of that father's name being on their birth certificate. And children do know, they are aware. And so, we get out there, we have a genetic testing. And so establishing paternity in District of Columbia happens 2 ways if a child is born out of wedlock. It is either signing the acknowledgement of paternity, which is also considered signing the birth certificate, and also genetic testing. And so if the 2 parents are under the age of 21 and on TANF, we have free genetic testing. So we've teamed up with the MPD, and we hit the beat the streets, and we bring our mobiles out there, and we have the lobotomists on the mobile, and they complete the genetic testing. So that's really a plus of hitting and completing that family and having that father's name on the birth certificate. We also have a re-entry citizen where I have teamed up with CSOSA, and I go to CSOSA every 3 months, and I provide information to the returning citizens, the citizens that are about to return back into our communities, and I give them the information there. We also have employment. Child support has really changed its face. We recognize the barriers and the challenges, and if you open up that folder and you read my letter, it's kind of my thesis to this position that I hold, and where we talk about these poverty issues. And so if you're sitting there like, oh, child support doesn't have anything to do with me, I guarantee you 1 out of 3 families on your street are receiving public assistance. And that means that they are not currently or gainfully employed. That non-custodial parent, that parent, oftentimes 70% is the father that's not in the house. And so there are many initiatives that are definitely being offered by child support. It's almost like we have social behavior. We are basically looking past the collection. And that's what I say to the children. I say, yes, we are a collection agency, but we also have a lot of initiatives to bring that family back together. And our motto is the relationship between the 2 parents might end, but the legal responsibility of both parents are still there for that child. And so we have Fresh Start program, we have the re-entry. We also have compliances in regards to driver's revocation. We also work with homeless veterans, and that's near and dear to my heart. I go to the homeless veteran transitional housing, and I work with a lot of veterans. And you're probably asking yourself, well, why would you be going after veterans? Oftentimes, veterans have old arreared cases, and we're reporting on their credit. We cannot, physically, we cannot attach a wage withholding to their veteran benefits, but we can report on their credit. So I go into the veteran transition housing, and I work with them. And believe me, sometimes they ask me, do you have do you have a lead for a job or a lead for driver's license, or I got tickets unpaid? And as a resource, as a community outreach specialist, I give them the information. So please work with me. If you're working in a business and employment, we have an employment center where we do vet our non-custodial parents to seek to help them to find jobs. We send referrals out. We have an alternative solution center. So we really are definitely making strides in the community to make that family whole. Is there any questions?
Well, first, can you give us your phone number, and I want to put you on the spot and ask you for a commitment to come back. I think your presentation was excellent, and we are negatively impacted by child support issues, and we don't even know it. And there's a lot of shame in the community about that. And I think that if we can address those child support issues, get people to embrace their citizenship, their full citizenship, they'll be willing to call the police, come to meetings, and actively work towards the betterment of their community. So what's your phone number, Ms. Carew?
It's 202-724-4963. It's 202-724-4963.
Can you spell your name again for everyone, just in case they want to email you?
It's Aida, AIDA, Garoute, GAROUTE, @dc.gov. And I hold presentations all the time. Saturday, I'm doing Healthy Babies. That's within the District 5, within Ward 5. But I'm in every community. I'm from Ward 1, I handle all of the communities, and hopefully I'll be invited to other ANC, because this is definitely an issue. This is family, this is social. And we have referrals, we can refer out to psychologists, and within my packet, I have put nonprofit lawyers. If they want to, seek custody, always my #1 question is, I'm on child support, I am the father, but I don't see my child. And we're child support, but I will, and I did put it in the folder, I give the numbers to self-help court, which are pro bono lawyers that will advise them and advise them on the steps of establishing custody. And that's one thing that a lot of people are not familiar with, but when children are born, whether they're born in wedlock or not wedlock, you have to file for custody. It's not automatic. And so a lot of people are not aware, of custody and visitation. So we have a lot of information and literature, and we have referrals that we send over to the court when that is the issue. So is there any questions out on the floor? Some questions. 1, 2. People are working for job completion.
Yeah.
And just one of the things, I just had a customer that, in that case, you can't get something waived at a gentleman who's in prison for 20 years. So when he left his daughter was 2, comes out, she's 21. And he found out he owed child support. And he said, so you saying like if he pays for 2 years, that'll get waived?
Well, but my presentations are almost in 45 minutes, Lynn. I can't really go totally deep into it.
But this is something he can come to you with?
This is definitely something that you can come to me with.
Okay.
Yeah, because and DC is the only entity that offers a noticing to sentencing act. No other state does that. And the Noticing to Sentencing Act is the most underused law that helps non-custodial parents who are incarcerated. They can suspend their child support. If a person is going to be incarcerated for over 20 years, that child support case is closed out. And oftentimes, people do not want to tell the court that they have an active child support at their notice of sentencing. So like I explained to a lot of the citizens that are incarcerated, District of Columbia citizens incarcerated in federal